Mr. Chairman, thank you, and I want to particularly commend the team at USTR for negotiating this. Bob Lighthizer is not with us this morning because he's working on the next agreement, but it's great to have some of the staff here. I want to particularly point out John Melly, who's a professional staffer with whom I had the opportunity and the privilege to work when I was at USTR, and he was the chief staff negotiator. This has been over 2 years of hard work. Frankly, it sat up in the House for over a year. It's exciting that we're finally here, and we're going to get this done because it's good for Ohio and it's good for America. It also is important to me that there was a strong vote in the House because it shows that trade can be bipartisan and that we do have a consensus in this country that we want to export more. We want to do more trading because trading is good for our country. I support USMCA because I believe it is a pro-trade agreement. It opens new markets. That was talked about earlier. John Thune just talked about its benefits for agriculture. That's certainly true, but also in other ways. It reduces trade uncertainty with the first ever digital trade chapter for NAFTA. Really important because this is increasingly part of trade, particularly in Ohio. We've got a lot of internet companies that are going to be benefited by this. It also eases the customs burden for small sellers by raising the protectionist de minimis caps in Canada and Mexico. We should be able to do even more, but this is great success. And again, congratulations on what I know is some tough negotiating there. That helps a lot of our small businesses in Ohio. I've already mentioned the internet economy rules that avoid the kind of digital protectionism that otherwise could happen, but also this level the playing field issue that was talked about earlier. My colleague from Ohio and others have talked about this. The rules of origin is really important to Ohio. We're the #2 auto state in the country. Auto manufacturing has become increasingly high-tech. And these rules of origin for cars are important because they've begun to leak as parts have come in from China and, frankly, other countries that have been free riders on the NAFTA preference. So I think that's appropriate. I don't know why it's considered to be inappropriate to say, look, if you have an agreement with the United States, well, we'll give you this preference. If you don't have an agreement, you can't free ride on our agreement by coming in. And, frankly, what it's going to do is encourage other countries to have trade agreements with us. So I think it's a good thing for expanding trade. The rules of origin also require that 70% of the steel in vehicles made in North America are made in North America. That's the first time ever as well. And I think that's also important. And this is all in USMCA, but not in NAFTA. The NAFTA labor and environmental standards have been talked about. They were promises on paper, but not enforceable under NAFTA. Now they are enforceable. It updates the standards as well, which hasn't been talked about as much, and that's important, just to bring a 25-year-old agreement up to speed. We had to do that. So, look, is it perfect? No, no agreement's perfect, but this is a big improvement. And a vote for NAFTA is a vote for these improvements. A vote against it, of course, is a vote for the status quo. I'm pleased that Sharon and Gary Pinus, who are in Columbus, Ohio, who have contacted me, are now going to be able to, in their budding eBay business, to be able to have more access to Canada and Mexico, our biggest trading partners from Ohio by far. I'm pleased that Frank Burkett, who's contacted me, who's a dairy farmer whose farm I visited in Canal Fulton, Ohio, is going to be able to sell more to Canada and get his prices up. I'm pleased that our auto workers around our state are going to have a more level playing field. This is all critical and all why I think it's so important that we do move forward with this agreement today. So again, congratulations, Mr. Chairman. I look forward to being a yes today and to getting this onto the Senate floor as soon as possible.